I'm Tim Caswell, and I'm the regional representative for the Oregon Restaurant and Lodging Association in the southern and central part of the state. The Oregon Restaurant and Lodging Association is the only organization dedicated to protecting the interests of the entrepreneurs that make up the lodging and restaurant industry. My job is to make sure that folks in my region have access to our resources, and on any local political issues that come up, I become that champion or lobbyist on those local issues throughout that region. Well, in addition to access to a great deal of information, for example, healthcare, we've established a very substantial healthcare resource center so that the folks that are in our industry, 85% of our members, by the way, are small independent operators, so they don't have the capacity usually to be able to become experts on a lot of different things. So our healthcare resource center is a good example. We have a team of people there that can answer the questions for any operator, for any employee, free of charge, walk anybody in the industry through the process of determining what kind of healthcare they might qualify for with the new plans that are available. That's one example. Other examples involve group buying programs that allow folks to save time and money and that assure them of top quality service. Our industry in particular requires a tremendous amount of sacrifice and investment of time, and especially when they're small independent operators, they're putting in those 12, 14-hour days, and they don't have the bandwidth to be aware of what's going on in Salem or to be aware of some of the things that we have available to make their lives a little easier. So yeah, I get to share some good news with them. I'm here at the invitation of the local chamber. Tule asked me to come here and to participate in just kind of a chat session, get to know everybody, find out what the particular issues are here. Part of my job is to take that information and run that up the line to our leadership and make them aware of what's happening in the rural part of the state and the special challenges that our industry faces here. Part of what ORLA has accomplished over the last few years is establishing Travel Oregon, the state's official tourism agency, establishing their budget and establishing them as a priority for state government. And so, unlike many other states where their tourism agencies have to compete each year for general fund dollars, we've established legislation that allowed Travel Oregon to be self-sustaining. So there's a 1% tourism tax that is collected by all of the lodging operators in the state and passed on to them. They in turn are able to use those funds to be able to plan long-term, to be able to basically invite people from all over the world to come to Oregon. Within that partnership are local destination marketing organizations that also get a lot of those tourism taxes, and they work closely together to be able to not only draw people to the state, but to draw people to each particular region of the state. And you're right, when there's not a particular draw, other than just being in this area, which is gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's so unique and inspiring, it makes it a little bit more difficult. So part of what we want to help local areas do is be creative in how they get their message out about what's unique about the area so they can bring in tourism dollars from other parts of the state as well as from other regions in the country and internationally as well. One of the big successes that our association recently had is that we have led the charge against what are called OTCs, or online travel companies, your Expedias, your Travelocities, and others, that for basically since the beginning of time that they've been around, they collect the full amount of tourism tax on whatever they sell the room for. But they buy the room for less than that. And so they've only been paying taxes on the part that they buy the room for. So an operator says the room is $60, Travelocity sells it for $80. Travelocity's been collecting the tax on the $80, but only submitting it on the $60. So there's millions of dollars that should be flowing into local communities for tourism development that has not been there. So we successfully passed legislation in Oregon against an army of their lobbyists that they brought in from all over the country, and are the first real state in the union to be able to really go after them. They have now sued us in court, and they're going to try and drag this out as long as they can. But we are fairly confident that the courts will see that we have the right to do what we're doing in the state of Oregon, and when that finally starts coming through, there'll be a lot more money coming into our pockets instead of the pockets of Travelocity and others, so that we can bring more people to the area. In fact, I like to brag. We have 20 folks on our staff. We have a very lean operation. We're involved in education, such as alcohol service education, food handlers education, ServSafe, which is advanced food safety. We have folks involved in the legislative or government affairs lobbying efforts. We have a couple of nonprofits within our organization. We're a nonprofit ourselves, but outreach and things of that nature. Of the 20 folks that are on our staff, there are 4 that are regional representatives, but only 2 out of the whole 20 actually live outside the Salem-Portland area. Our board's very committed to making sure that each region has somebody local. So I actually live in Southern Oregon, was raised in Southern Oregon, started in the restaurant business when I was 14, and have a real strong understanding of what we need here. So when I go to our Wilsonville office for our monthly meetings, I always like to brag about what I saw. And next time when I'm in Wilsonville, I'll be bragging about Lake County because it's just been beautiful. The people have been fantastic, very welcoming. And yes, I have the best region in the whole organization. Not to compare to the rest of the states, which I'm sure is I'm even better than them, much better than them. So yeah, I have the best region in the state and probably one of the best ones in the country.